Ever wondered how your shopping habits could shape the entire economy? Picture this. You're feeling confident about your job, so you splurge on that new car you've been eyeing. Now multiply that by millions of Americans, and suddenly you're looking at a major economic shift. It's not just about individual purchases. It's about the collective power of consumer sentiment. Welcome to the Economy Unpacked Daily YouTube channel. From Wall Street to your street, we share the world of money in a clear way. Today, we're diving into the fascinating connection between psychology and economics. Specifically, how U.S. consumer sentiment drives GDP growth. Consumer sentiment isn't just a fancy term economists throw around. It's the pulse of our economy, reflecting how optimistic or pessimistic we feel about our financial future. Why does this matter so much? Well, in the United States, consumer spending accounts for a whopping 65 to 70% of our GDP. That's right. Our shopping habits, dining out, and big purchases like homes and cars are the engine of our economic growth. Unlike countries that rely heavily on exports or manufacturing, the U.S. economy thrives when consumers feel confident and open their wallets. But how do we measure something as intangible as sentiment? Enter the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index and the Conference Board Consumer Confidence Index. These monthly surveys are like economic crystal balls, giving us insight into how Americans feel about current conditions and their expectations for the future. Alongside these, we look at real-world indicators like retail sales, housing starts, and credit card spending to paint a fuller picture of consumer behavior. When confidence is high, it kicks off a positive cycle. People feeling secure in their jobs and seeing their incomes grow are more likely to make big purchases. This increased spending on goods, services, and investments ripples through the economy, boosting quarterly GDP growth and often lifting other sectors along the way. But the flip side is equally powerful. When confidence dips due to rising unemployment, inflation, or uncertainty, we see a negative cycle unfold. Consumers become more cautious, postponing major purchases and tightening their belts. This reduced spending can have a domino effect, potentially triggering a recession if the trend continues. We've seen these cycles play out in real time. Take the 2008 financial crisis, for instance. The housing market collapse and credit crunch sent consumer sentiment plummeting, leading to a sharp decline in GDP. More recently, the COVID-19 pandemic caused an initial shock to confidence. But we later saw a rebound fueled by stimulus checks and the economy reopening. It's not just about domestic impact, either. The U.S. consumer spending habits have global implications. When Americans are buying, it boosts exports from countries like China, Germany, and Mexico. Conversely, when U.S. consumers pull back, it can slow down global trade, impact commodity prices, and even weaken emerging markets. So, what factors influence U.S. consumer sentiment the most? Job market conditions are at the top of the list. Employment rates and job security are key predictors of how confident people feel. Inflation and interest rates also play a crucial role, directly affecting consumers' willingness to spend. The stock market's performance can boost or dampen sentiment by changing perceptions of wealth. And let's not forget political and geopolitical events. Elections, wars, and trade tensions can quickly sway consumer confidence. Looking ahead, economic forecasters are constantly trying to predict sentiment trends based on job growth, inflation forecasts, and policy changes. But the game is changing with the advent of AI and big data. Social media sentiment tracking and real-time purchasing data are giving us more accurate predictions than traditional surveys alone. In times of uncertainty, stabilizing confidence becomes crucial. Governments might deploy stimulus measures. Central banks may adjust interest rates, and public communication campaigns aim to restore trust in the economy. As we wrap up, remember that your economic outlook and spending decisions are part of a much larger picture. The next time you're considering a major purchase or feeling optimistic about your financial future, know that you're contributing to the ebb and flow of our nation's economic health. So, keep an eye on those consumer sentiment reports. They're not just numbers, but a reflection of our collective economic psyche. And who knows? Understanding these trends might just help you make smarter financial decisions in your own life. Thanks for tuning in to Economy Unpacked Daily. We hope this exploration of consumer sentiment and GDP growth has given you a new perspective on the economic forces at play in your everyday life. Remember, in the world of economics, your confidence matters more than you might think. Until next time, keep spending wisely and stay economically savvy.